Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
Hi, welcome back. It's the Take a Listing Today podcast. I'm Jim, and that's Todd.
And over here in her VIP suite, our wonderful producer, Lisa Gray, in the house.
I'm doing a parade wave.
Welcome back. Yes. Even after last week's show where she's dropping F-bombs and stuff in here, we bring her back.
I didn't think they had language like that in Wisconsin.
No, they didn't, huh?
I thought that was a family-oriented state.
Hopefully we got that bleeped out. The podcast censors were on the job there.
Right.
So on today's show, it's a great time to be listening or watching, because this show pertains to those real estate professionals who need some listings. If that applies to anybody, keep listening. If you don't need more listings, you might want to turn this off right now. How about waking up to your market and get them leaning in?
Yes.
Wake up your market and get them leaning in.
So they know who you are, so the listings go to you. Exactly.
Ah, excellent. All right, well, let's get right into this. So the anecdotal evidence claims that when one home in a neighborhood goes on the market, another 3 or so will be listed within the next few months. Whatever the mysterious reason behind this phenomenon, I'm sure that you've seen it in action. The trick is to reach these thinking of selling homeowners before the other agents do. They're already curious and possibly considering selling, so you'll be reaching them at the most opportune time. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how do you reach out to these possible sellers? Should you cold call?
No, and think about this. Before reaching out to them, think about this as we're in a non-normal market right now, probably. Those agents that plant the seeds right now, Dean Jackson, right? We talk about him a lot, right? He's incredible at what he does. He said, when's the best time to plant the oak tree? The best time would have been 2 months ago, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So think about this, that if you can sow the seeds right now, when they're thinking about it, when they get unscared, if that happens, boom, you're top of mind, you win the game.
You will win the game. Will you win the game with cold calling? No, apparently not.
People don't like it.
Come on now. How does that intrusion make you memorable? Enough of the questions. Let's take a look at how effective a direct mail campaign can be, specifically if followed by other forms of marketing like calls or visits or other events. Do you still doubt the effectiveness of direct mail? Agents are fond of reminding people that they aren't salespeople because real estate is a relationship business. Have you ever heard of that before? In fact, Lisa had some free time recently and she was playing on Google and she typed some phrases in there.
And she tried to throw us off again?
Right. She's trying to throw us. Is this what you typed in here? Real estate is a relationship business?
Yes, to see what came up. Yeah.
Here's what came up. The secret to building relationships for your real estate business. Real estate is indeed a relationship business. Stats don't lie. Real estate is a relationship business. Real estate, relationship business built on trust.
So I guess that's the proof that people believe.
What were you expecting to come up?
So our next question for our listeners.
It is not a relationship.
I have our next question for our listeners. How many times did we use the word relationship in that paragraph? Was it 17?
$200.
22? Or 7?
Or too much. Too many times.
Too much.
Since building relationships with prospects is so critical, the initial approach must be well thought out. And a cold call isn't always the wisest use of this uber important task, especially now when Americans are feeling more than a bit beat up by real estate agents. Are people really feeling beat up?
I think so, because agents are trying to find listings. They're getting very creative in how they're approaching homeowners to get those listings. You and I were talking about receiving texts now constantly.
I've never got them as a month ago.
Yeah.
Right? So they're finding new creative ways while you're sitting there working. The text comes through your phone, boom. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're wanting to capitalize on the huge commissions, and they know it's not. There's not a lot right now.
Probably harassment is a better word than beat up, right? They're being harassed. Right?
All right. Well, we did another Google search, and Lisa typed in, "Why are real estate agents calling me?" Here's what came up. I had a client ask, "Why are all these realtors calling me? Why am I getting texts and calls from a million realtors all of a sudden? Real estate agents, stop calling me darn it.
They hang up, they're like, darn it, I wish they'd stop calling me. I think it's more extreme than that. They might be throwing stuff and yeah.
And finally, how do I stop realtor harassment?
Harassment in England. It's like going on assignments.
So, all right, so
That has to be
clearly,
on the shirt.
Yeah, we need that.
I'm on assignment.
I need that shirt.
All
me
right,
too.
so cold calling does not build relationships. There you go. But you know what does?
Ooh.
Direct mail.
Ooh, that's a good one you picked
Yes.
up too.
Of course it is.
I have a buyer.
They might be our winner today.
Maybe
have
we'll
a
call. Maybe we'll call this lady later on. It's a nice looking postcard too with some cash on it.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
All right. In fact, the right message sent at the right time in a direct mail campaign is probably the most effective listing tool for you right now. According to the U.S. Postal Service, nearly 70% of Americans feel that direct mail is more personal than the internet. Of course, they're going to say that, aren't they?
I don't know, because you
the
can be
mail.
you can be on the internet and ads come up for something pretty specific that you've been searching for. So some people would possibly feel, well, that's very personalized, that
Yeah.
it knows what I'm shopping for. So, there could be personalization on the internet as well.
All right. But here's what the internet cannot do. 48% of people say they retain direct mail for future reference. That's powerful.
That's very powerful, because think about this. If 48% of this stuff is retained, so let's say about half of it, that tells you a couple things. One, you want to have a mail piece that will separate you from everybody else. You don't want to be like all of them, because they're all trying to go after the same pot of gold, that same commission. So you want to go larger and stronger and more consistent than everybody, i.e. some type of a campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, 48%, they're going to retain it, the piece, and look at it again in the future or hold it for the future. Isn't the whole game getting in their house? And now
Correct.
you're in the house and you're being saved in the house. How is that happening on the internet? We were
Right.
talking about this. You see something and you see an ad. Let's say you see something and it's about a realtor and you think, oh, that's an interesting point they're making. Maybe I'll reach out to them. And then all of a sudden you're searching, you're doing something else on the internet, and you either forget that you were
Right.
going to do it. The ad's long gone now, right? It's flashed and popped some other ad. You can't even remember the name. How are you ever going to even find them?
Well, and to your point, yesterday on a call with a future market dominator member, we had this conversation, and I told the story of one of our agents in New Hampshire, and she went on a listing appointment. She said, "Oh, how'd you hear about me?" They said, "Oh, come on in here." They brought her into the kitchen. They had 7 market dominators stacked against the backsplash of the kitchen. It was so nice. They're like, "We've been getting your marketing pieces." So boom.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yeah, they saved them. They're beautiful. The market dominator, those are beautiful pieces. They're huge.
Right.
And there's so much great information.
You're
on
right. It's
those.
almost like a coffee table piece where you don't
Yeah.
want to throw it away.
Yep.
They were probably saving those recipes that are on the Dominator, Don't
Yeah.
know what to do tonight. Here's
How to make something that's going to add 8 pounds
the
to you.
chocolate pound
You've been
cake
trying to stay in
souffle
shape?
on
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Good luck trying to stay in shape. Yeah.
Right.
No, I hate that realtor. No, just
So finally, direct mail is powerful because 40% of consumers try new businesses after receiving direct mail.
that's a great stat.
It is.
It's a great ROI. you
They-
know?
Huge, really.
They are certainly great stats. They tout the effectiveness of direct mail, how it continues to be astounding, especially during and post the pandemic. Targeted marketing via direct mail works. However, the mailing list is even more important. Narrowing down the audience is a must for all marketing campaigns. Since we're talking about listings here, homeowners are the target. Now let's narrow down that audience even further. Homeowners within a certain radius of a new listing or sold.
Well, and I love this point that Jim's talking about, because I call it surgically prospecting, that you could take either a carrier route or an area and just say, like this morning, right? We had a great conversation. Someone says, "Oh, I live in an area where a second home." Well, here's what's great. You still want to market that. You still have to market that. And guess what? Once you get that area, now you can do what those people do that we looked up. You have your area. Now you can go to after high-income renters, non-owner occupied. You could do some campaigns, surgically prospect within there. There's magic in that.
Right.
Absolutely. Now, with a mailing list, you decide the radius. But agents we've spoken with who use this method normally choose the entire subdivision or within a 1 mile radius.
So it's a 1 mile of the listing or the sold, correct?
1 mile, the listing or the sold, yes. But wait, there's more. Let's make this mailing list ideal. Remove the homeowners who recently purchased their homes. Again, you can decide what that time frame would be. We'll use 5 years for our scenario. Now you have a list of homeowners who live in the same subdivision or within a mile of a just sold home and who have owned their homes for at least 5 years, some of whom are most likely considering selling. What better way to catch their interest than to let them know one of their neighbors just sold their home with a just sold postcard, even if it wasn't your sale?
Correct. And a lot of this is just timing. In other words, you hit them at the right time when they're thinking about it. And
That's sales. That's
right.
what sales is.
Right. And if you're not doing a campaign and you're just going to hit a neighborhood 2 postcards once a year, what are the odds that you're going to hit them at that right time?
Yeah, that's actually mathematically a beautiful statement.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to leave it at that. I thought, wait, we can't improve on that
or understand it. No,
Right.
it really is, because it comes down to math. It really does. And if you're doing something twice a year, and this is all about hitting someone at the right time, you're less likely to. You're doing it every month.
Yes.
You're much more likely to. It's just simple math. So I love the way you stated that.
And here's our legal segment. Make sure and check with your broker or other legal people to make sure it's okay for you to send out a just sold postcard if you didn't actually list the property.
Well, and that's a great thing that we talked about at our producers meeting, is that even at the closing, right, and talk to your broker and your board, make sure it's all legal. But here's what happens. You go to a closing, everybody signs documents, the agents get their checks, everybody leaves, buyer and seller at their peak of happiness, and then the realtor that had that listing, that sold that, does not stay in touch very often, maybe once a year, because they're thinking, well, they're not going to need me. So there are trainers that take the other person's agent, stay in touch with them monthly because the other agent won't.
Sure.
Take their other listing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? If you're in an area where they say, no, we really don't want you sending a just sold that the agent didn't bother to send to this neighborhood, maybe a market update is something that you are allowed to do. I see agents do this all the time. So they've got this farm area and they're grabbing the 4 homes that were sold in that area and they're giving you a market update. This was sold for this amount, and they'll put all 4 on there and say, hey, what opportunity are you missing out on? These 4 just sold. So it's another way to go about going after this niche within a 1 mile radius.
Well, that's a great idea for those homeowners to have an idea of equity in their own home by a market update. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Continue that momentum by routinely reaching out to the prospects on this mailing list. Remember that consistency is key.
Well, and that's the key to everything. Think about that. It's the key to all of you listening and watching to your marketing. It's the key to somebody getting in great shape. It's the key to building wealth. Compounding and consistency is the key to making it happen.
Right.
Yep. And there's no better way to do this than with a just sold follow-up campaign. It's one of many farm automated campaigns available on ProspectsPLUS.com.
And that's the magic, automated. So once you're at the closing, you could plug them in and put them on a 2-year campaign and be done. Right there, you're 95% ahead of most agents in your board.
Well, and the headlines and the copy in this particular postcard campaign, the Just Sold Follow-Up, they're unbelievable. Just direct response headline and copy in this particular campaign is really powerful, really strong, and I just would imagine anybody using this, you're going to keep stirring up more interest in that area where you just sent a just sold campaign, or you just sent a just sold postcard. I'm like tripping over myself. Very often agents, they grab that list, they send that card and they move on, and you paid for this list. You've got a list of people. Why wouldn't you keep sending to them? That's what I love about this follow-up campaign. Also, the list that we were talking about cultivating, just to let everyone know who's listening, go on ProspectsPLUS.com. That's a Map My Mail list that they're going to be creating. So you just go to Map My Mail and you can create that list in just minutes.
And you can figure out how long homeowners have lived there and radius, and you can even map out a subdivision if that's the way you want to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can drill it down exactly.
Beautiful.
How small you want it.
Well, that was a quick show.
You know what we should do?
Why don't we call this lady?
You know what? I agree with you. She sent out an incredible card. I mean, money on the front of it. So that's going to get some attention.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see if we can give her some more money because she has money on her card.
Or, her phone might be.
This is Amy. Can I help you?
Oh, Amy, this is Jim and Todd and Lisa. We're calling live on the air, Take a Listing Today podcast. And we're calling because you mailed out a postcard through ProspectsPLUS.com and 3-click postcards recently.
Great job on
I
that.
want to say congratulations. That's a nice looking postcard.
So what made you send out, we just wanted to find out what made you send out this campaign. Your postcard does look incredible. I love the money on it. And we want to give you a chance to win $100 on our show and some swag on our Take a Listing Today podcast. Sound good?
Yeah.
What inspired you to send this postcard out? It looks great. And are you doing a campaign?
Yes, I am doing a campaign for one client in particular who specifically wants a property in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Wow, impressive. Okay.
That is an agent that you want to choose. Somebody who's going through
Right,
that
who's
effort.
going to work that hard for
Yeah,
you.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
When I searched the MLS and there was nothing in that neighborhood available, I thought, well, I'll go a different route and we'll see if we can get somebody looking to sell.
You are impressive.
I was going to say that exact word. That's because most agents aren't even going to think that way, let alone implement or deploy something like
you're
that.
going the extra mile. You're the person that people want to hire.
Do
Definitely.
you use this website?
I sure hope so.
Yeah. Do you use the website for just listed or just sold postcards as well?
I have not used that.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
if you ever consider it,
she can win some money today and a gift card on Prospects Plus, and she'll.
Let's give her a chance to win $100 and some swag on the show. And these are not real estate related questions, so put your thinking cap on. How's that sound? $100 gift card, anything on ProspectsPlus.com, and some swag from our Take a Listing Today podcast. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good.
Here we go.
All right. Amy, I'm going to read you a question and 3 possible answers. All you have to do is tell me the correct answer and you'll be a big winner. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Here is your question. In Michigan, it is illegal to sell what on a Sunday?
Here we go.
Is it a house, a diamond, or a car?
Oh, I know this one.
A car.
I lived there.
A car.
A car.
This was probably a law put in the
No, this is UAW.
It is?
UAW is in Michigan, in Detroit.
Oh,
They made this happen.
That should help. That should help her.
All right. Is that correct? Yes, it is, of course. All right. Todd, what does Amy win?
Amy, you're going to be very pleased. You won a $100 gift card for anything on ProspectsPlus.com. And the other stuff you won is not even available on the website or our gift shop button. That's going to be on next year. But you won a shirt, which is in high demand. I think it's going to retail for $49.95. You got a free shirt and 2 mugs. We haven't even priced those out yet. It's
too expensive to price out.
Thank you. So we're going to give you a set of mugs so you don't just have one. And congratulations. Keep up the great work. Stay incredible. And very impressive what you share with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Amy.
All right. So the UAW don't want you selling cars? You'd think they would want as many cars sold as possible.
People want off on Sunday. That's what it is. The dealerships want to be closed on Sunday. So what happened when this first year? I lived there in the 80s, late 80s. When they first
Witness Protection Program. Then she
when
moved
some
to Florida.
dealerships first started closing on Sundays to give everybody a day off.
Right.
Some would stay open.
Oh.
And what they would do is the ones that stayed open
Capitalize.
they'd end up getting vandalized. So it became a very strong do not.
Oh, don't go
And then
there.
eventually it was passed as a law that you could not.
You know what?
UAW is very powerful.
I think up until this point, Lisa thought all these questions were made up. And now
She did. Now she knows.
she
the real.
realizes, well, this is legit.
No, that one was.
Oh, okay, just that one. That was the first one that was legit. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. It's our instruction manual on how you can wake up your market and get them leaning in your direction. So you can go out there and take those listings.
Lean into listings.
Lean into listings. That's a good idea. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you again next week on the Take a Listing Today podcast.
Bye. Take care. Let's go back to the beach.
Beach.